Hi, guys. Hope everyone is well. Let's shoot on over to the article. Tried to do this before, but my head disappeared. Okay, homeowners can now defer mortgage payments for an extra 6 months. Here's how to tell if you are covered. So I'm not really interested on trying to figure out if you're covered or not. I'm more interested in the concept of what's going on from the standpoint of macroeconomics in the United States economy. So Biden came out and directed federal housing regulators to extend mortgage forbearance programs for an additional 6 months and prolong foreclosure relief programs on Tuesday in a move that will cover an estimated 70% of mortgages for single family homes in the United States. 70% of mortgages. I mean, so, and what percentage of people that own a home have a mortgage? Probably a very high percentage. So of those, 70% are just not making payments. What I would argue is probably their number one expense is just gone. Doesn't exist anymore. While at the same time, if you've been watching my videos, you've seen the incomes go up tremendously in 2020. Now they've maybe tailed off a bit, I get it. But I mean, people's incomes doubled, tripled in some cases in 2020. On aggregate total, incomes went up by a staggering amount in 2020. While at the same time, we're saying, okay, everyone, your main payment, you don't, just forget about that. Just don't worry about it for right now. Okay. So this is for the latest Cerveza sickness relief package. So now it gets into specifics. They're supposed to extend the ban on foreclosures through June 2021, allow homeowners to enroll in a mortgage payment forbearance program through June 2020 2021. By the way, this forbearance program is the one that lasts up to a year. So even heading into the middle of summer, many people, millions of people, will still not be making their mortgage payment until the middle of 2022. Wonder what that's going to do for the price of food. Definitely not a headwind. I can tell you that. What is that going to do for lumber prices? Definitely not a headwind. Extended forbearance programs for an additional 6 months for those who are already entered a mortgage payment. Okay, so if they've already entered this forbearance program, which would last up to a year, now they're extending it another 6 months, which is kind of what they were saying before. Wait a minute here. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Extended forbearance programs for an additional 6 months for those who already. Okay, right. Homeowners will. Yeah, got it. Okay. And this is the part that I find really amazing here, a juxtaposition. As President Biden has made clear, it is urgent that we help homeowners throughout the nation who are struggling financially from this unprecedented national emergency. Who is struggling financially? Like I'm sure there's some people out there, but and that's unfortunate because this is because the government comes in and locks everyone in their house and says you can't leave your cage and you can't open your business. So let's first and foremost remember who is responsible for this unprecedented national emergency, or for the majority of it. I would argue, at least from a financial standpoint. It would be the government and people like Joe Biden himself. But I mean, again, incomes have increased, expenses increases have increased massively, and expenses have gone down. So if you increase income by 50% and decrease your expenses by 50%, I mean, I don't know. How much are people out there struggling? Now, long term, you better believe it. We're going to struggle like Biden can't even imagine, but we're going to struggle for reasons that he doesn't understand. The steps we are taking today will provide both immediate relief to those in desperate need of assistance. Okay, agreed, but let's remember that it also provide immediate relief for those people who are just going to take advantage of the system and help more homeowners keep their homes and resume their payments. And let's, in other words, it's going to help homeowners keep their homes, and it's going to prevent renters from buying homes. That's the part they always leave out. You're helping one group by hurting another group. Because if prices stay at nosebleed levels, which they are right now, in many markets higher adjusted for inflation than they were in 2006 during the last housing bubble. Those prices stay there. Okay, that's good for those people that own the homes, but how about all the people that are just trying to get out of college with $200,000 in loan debt, save a little bit of money, which from a job which probably doesn't exist anymore because the government shut down the business. But I guess now they've got their stimmy checks, so they can use that as down payment on the house. But they can't afford the house long term with the payments because they've been priced out of the market, even with artificially low interest rates. So nothing happens in a vacuum. That's my point. Well, let's think of not only as Hazlitt says, let's not just focus on the seen, but let's also try to think through the unseen. Okay, the other thing I wanted to point out with that same quote is, and a lot of these quotes from Biden, we're struggling, and we are a nation, let's see, help homeowners throughout the nation who are struggling financially in this unprecedented national emergency. Okay, got it. Let's remember that. And we'll provide immediate relief for those people who are in desperate need of assistance during this pandemic. My main point here with going, and I thought there was one more quote there that I was looking for, but my main point is listen to the verbiage that they're using about the economy, the state of the economy, that we're in this national emergency. We're in a national economic emergency. That something that we haven't seen in, let's call it, 100 years. But the last time I checked, the stock market was at all-time highs. Weird how that works. So if you're one of those people who say, yeah, the stock market is high and it's pricey, but the prices are justified. How do you reconcile that? I don't care how low interest rates are. If you've got the economy that is on life support and being propped up by stimmy checks and the government coming in and just saying, listen, we'll just drop your expenses by 50%. That's our economy right now. And so if you're going long the S&P 500, or the Russell 2000 would be an even better example of that, you're not really long the company. You're not long their profits. You're long stimmy checks. You're long government intervention and people not having to pay their mortgages. And therefore, you're long central planning. I prefer to be long free market capitalism, but that's just the way I roll.